Here's a look at Joe Johnson. You know, he's been player of the week here in the Big Three for the past 3 weeks. And this is the featured game of the day. It is the unbeaten defending champion Triplets taking on the enemies here inside the American Airlines Center. As we take a look at the standings, the Triplets, the only unbeaten team right now in the league. The enemies at 1-2, and you can see there is just a battle there for third place. Hello everyone, Brian Custer alongside the coach Avery Johnson. Well, here we go, featured game, and ISO Joe, he seems like a man who cannot be stopped in his, his record 10-1 right now in the Big Three.
Yeah, Joe has been very impressive in his Big Three career. He's really taken his game to another level. He's a guy that loves to stay in shape. He made it to the last cut basically with the Detroit Pistons last year. I think another team is going to call him this year and give him a chance.
You might be right about that. Let's take a look at the roster breakdown. Let's start with the Triplets. It is presented by PNC Bank. Hey, look, Gennaro Pargo can shoot that three. Lisa Leslie, the Hall of Famer, she is their head coach. But dare I even ask, who's your overdraft protection player to watch?
My PNC overdraft protection player to watch is ISO Joe. Joe always, he never lets you down. If you come to see him play, he's gonna put the defense on skates with his ISOs, his three-point shooting ability, game winners, and that's what he does. He gets paid. That's what Joe says. He gets paid to make plays.
Listen, he's had game winners in all 3 games this season. It started against Bivouac, and then he did it again in week 2 against Power, and then last week against Trilogy, another fadeaway jumper. Points up, rebounds up, production up for Joe Johnson. As we take a look at the enemies, head by Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero, their head coach, and then, of course, Swaggy P. Nick Young, the captain, Isaiah Austin, of course, one of their leaders, and Perry Jones, who played really well for them last week.
Yeah, Perry Jones, the third co-captain, had a little bit of a breakout game, 14-point season high last week. You know, he's long. Once he's making this mid-range game, you know, he's a good rebounder. But this 4-point shot, boom, won the game for him last week.
Hey, look, it's all about the Baylor big men when you talk about the enemies. Perry Jones was with me in the gym, matter of fact, this morning, getting a workout in, and Isaiah Austin, both of these guys have length, and they certainly get after the boards. But the woman whose job is trying to contain this team is Lisa Leslie. She's the reigning coach of the year. She's with John Sally.
All right, Coach, I grabbed your arm, and the only reason I do that because I usually get elbowed like you elbowed me a long time ago. I know, man. Stop grabbing. Coach, 19 years ago, you dunked the ball in the game. My daughter made me go up to McDonald's, and I missed it in person. But that was like 19 years.
That's crazy that you're getting older, John. That's all I can tell you.
I know, you were like 10 years old.
It's crazy, though, really, to look back and just think about how far I've come personally, and then just the WNBA. I'm really happy for all the accomplishments, being able to help pave the way, and then now coaching, having this opportunity to coach these men. It's been a blessing. I thank God.
What about Joe? You got ISO Joe.
I have the best player, but I also have the best team, and we work well together. My guys and I are always coming up with a great game plan. And listen, the enemies may not be the strongest team, but they are a scary team because they can get hot at any minute. And I try to motivate my guys. Don't take it for granted. Let's come out here, put a foot on their net, and get this win.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
But she's competitive, huh? She's competitive, bro. I'm telling you.
Hey, give me a uniform for the Triplets. I'm ready to come out of retirement. I'm ready to go. Hey, let's take down my number 6 jersey. I'm ready to go. I'm on the edge of my seat, man.
That guy was always ready to go. Gilbert Arenas, he's the head coach of the enemies, 3-time NBA All-Star. Played for the enemies last year, but now coaching them up. Enemies 1-2, Triplets 3-0. It is the featured game of the day. And there is Joe Johnson, the leading scorer in the league, second in rebounds and assists.
I wonder if Joe Johnson wears #1 because he's saying, I'm #1 in the big three. I'm the best player in this league.
You might be right. You might be right.
Now Swaggy P's going to have to live up to his #1.
Yes. Hey, look, he played a lot better last week, had 13 points. He'd only had maybe like a total of 5 the first couple of weeks, but back in rhythm. And he'll go to the line shooting 1 for 2. Too strong, got his own board though. Joe Johnson clears it. Here's Pargo. Yes, Gennaro Pargo, and that's what kills you with the triplets. Pargo with his shooting, and then you've got Joe doing other things.
Yeah, and he's tied for the three-pointers, the most three-pointers in the big three with 8. And Joe Johnson needs Pargo to make those shots to open up the floor a little bit more for him to operate. And this is a different contrast in teams. You know, the enemies are a lot bigger and longer than the triplets, but the triplets have that experience. They have Joe Johnson.
Here's Joe.
When you Lisa Leslie and you do triplets, she does a really nice job of trying to identify the one player they want to attack defensively. So with the enemies, I wonder if it's going to be Young or I don't think it's Perry Jones.
That's what Joe's working on. Uses power, gets down low, banks it home.
Yeah, in that situation, he got Perry Jones deep underneath the basket, and Isaiah Austin, he needs to get down there and help it. Force Joe Johnson. You got to live with Jamario Moon beating you, but not Joe Johnson.
By Perry Jones is no good. Here's Joe again from the baseline. Good dig. Moon hangs and got it.
Tough shot right there over Austin, who has what, a 7'4" wingspan.
Jones now. Swaggy P. Kick out to Jones. Too strong. And that'll be over the back on Austin.
Nice left-handed pass by Joe. We've seen guys in both games really passing the ball well with their opposite hand.
Here's Joe. Spins on Joe. Oh, steps back, pulls it, airballed it. Five-point lead for the triplets. First team to 25. We go to the half.
Now this is a guy, Isaiah Austin, that can really get it going offensively. Just super talented big guy. Take bigger players or smaller players off the dribble. Enemy second leading scorer.
3-point lead now.
He and Perry Jones should be happy with the Baylor Bears.
Absolutely.
Winning the national championship this year. I was there in Indianapolis.
There's a reach in by Jones.
You know why I was there, Cuss?
CBS?
CBS Sports HQ.
How about that?
I was there.
Look at you, man. Multimedia.
Yes, all over the place.
Everywhere, man.
I was wondering if we were going to be first-round draft picks by Ice Cube.
Yeah, right, exactly.
For the games this year.
Exactly.
I was waiting for the call. If it would have taken one more day, I was going to call him myself.
Right. Put your own self in. Yeah. 5-point lead. Here's Jones working and throws it away. And take a look at the leading scores for the triplets. How about this? Joe Johnson nearly 30, and then Pargo next at nearly 10.
So when you come into this game, your job is to try to hold Joe Johnson to 20.
Keep that man from shooting those. That's what he does. Gennaro Pargo, a man of 3.
Wow. Pargo, he came and shook your hand before the game. I think if he was in New Orleans, we were supposed to be in New Orleans, that was going to be like some good tasting gumbo, but we're in Dallas now, so that was some barbecue ribs.
Hey, 12-4. That's our score here in the first half. Triplets on top of the enemies. Triplets, the only unbeaten team in the league. Hey, look who's sitting courtside. And you got all hip-hop best here. Little NLE Chopper. He's going to perform with Ice Cube.
And speaking of ribs, NLE Chopper's from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah,
hey, I've had some ribs, good ribs in Memphis.
How about that chain, bro?
Yeah.
How about that chain?
Bryson LaShawn Potts, known as NLE Chopper.
That chain is something.
Man. Ice. That can pay your rent. You sell all of that ice.
You ain't lying.
Or your mortgage.
Yes. You tell it. That three's no good. Here's Joe. Dave Stewart is checked in. Spins on him and lays it in. Joe Johnson.
Too small. That's a little bit of an insult for Joe. Smaller defender. Joe just overpowered him. Nice spin move. Joe just seems like he's never rattled. Never out of control. Same demeanor.
Chases down that miss. They've got a 10-point lead. He steps at the 4. Working on Swaggy P. The drive. And let's see. They're going to call a foul.
Totally agree with that call. That was a foul. Now, you can see in this picture, when Joe started his move, it just really seems like the other 2 help defenders are just too far away. They got to shrink the floor. They got to get closer to Joe to try to shut down his driving lane, but also know where Pargo is on the floor.
Ooh, that went in and out by Pargo. Here's Swaggy. Step back 3. Joe snags the board. Pargo in the corner. Inside to Johnson. He fades. Got it. That's pretty.
Now here's Joe Johnson, 6'7". He's sealing 6'11" Perry Jones underneath the basket and then scores.
Nick Young to pull up. Johnson fading. Ooh, tipped out. And Stewart's got it now. Jones from the corner. Good. 16-7. First team to 25. We go to the half.
And that's the benefit of getting the rebound, clearing it, and everybody else clearing and sprinting behind that 3-point line. Nice pass.
Oh, good cut by Jamario Moore.
Excellent 2-man basketball. Little give and go. Fake dribble handoff. Slip.
Jones working on move. Tipped out to Nick Young. Joe Johnson, ball fake, and he got Stewart in the air.
Yeah, and just Nick Young has missed a couple of baskets that we know he's capable of making. Good slip by Moon. Finishes on the other side of the basket, but that was all Pargo. Just like we saw in the previous game with C.J. Watson. Just guards making the right plays. Whether it's guards in basketball, quarterbacks in football, getting the ball to receivers, or point guards making a pass to their teammates, putting them in a position to be successful.
Joe misses that free throw. So here's Stewart now, step back 3. Al Jefferson and Allen Anderson We'll check in, see their first action of the day. Moon, Pargo will have a seat.
And what did Coach Lisa Leslie say before the game? We want to get them early. We want to get them out of here. We respect them, even though, you know, they're 1-2 the enemies. We want to punch them early.
Yeah, said they're a dangerous team. Jones misses. It'll be Triplets basketball. Here's Johnson. Oh, no look dish. Jefferson.
But see, on the drive, on the closeout, if you look at the defender, Perry Jones here, who's guarding Joe, he's basically allowing him to get to his strong side, his left side. You want Joe Johnson operating left.
Isaiah Stewart went high for the follow. Johnson, short with the three. Here's Anderson.
Al Jefferson has a mismatch here.
Ball fake, Anderson will pull it.
Bad shot.
Yep.
Yep. See, this is a situation where you can get cute sometime. You're up by 13. You need 5 more points to get to the half. And that's a bad shot. Al Jefferson had a mismatch on the post, and then Al needs to call and scream and say, you know, mouse in the house, something.
Here's Joe. Working on Isaiah Austin. 5 on the shot block. Step back. Got it. That jumper's wet.
What does that mean? Translate wet.
You hear that net? Man. Here's Austin. He'll fade. He knocks it down.
You know, and what I think it was in 2016, Austin was medically cleared to play.
Yes.
This guy, he was projected to be a first-round NBA player.
You're right. You're right. Joe for 3, missed it. Here's Anderson, though. That's his shot from distance. That went in and out. Oh, what a pass by Joe. He behind the back pass in the air.
And believe me, if they're in that situation again, Al Jefferson's going to catch that pass. He'll be ready for it.
4 by Austin. Jordan Hill, and a reach in by Jefferson.
And then you got to make a decision if you're the enemies. I know Austin took that, attempted that 4-point shot. Celeste, boy, she's coaching. She's telling, she's telling Alan Anderson, you owe me one.
Triplets, knock down the 3, we go to the half. Here's Jefferson, though. Too strong.
Lisa was saying, Anderson, you've missed 2 wide open threes. Or well, maybe 1 3 was questionable, but the other one was wide open. So you owe me a make.
So they said that ball went out of bounds on the enemies, that it would be the Triplets basketball, and Gilbert Arenas is going to challenge that call and say, no, you guys got to take a look at that. Again, every coach, they get a challenge on a possession, and they get a fireball challenge as well, a half. Let's get another look at this. Here's Joe. It looked like it went off of Joe.
Here's a better angle.
Yes.
Yeah, it looked like it went off Joe. Yeah.
That right hand. So it will be the enemy's basketball.
Very good.
So Austin will inbound. Here's Jordan Hill. Austin calls for it again. 10 on the shot clock, working on Johnson in the block. He pulls the chair and finishes.
Smart. Pulled the chair. Austin lost his balance, and Joe secured the ball and went right back in. So basically, you're trying to manipulate the post player. You have that hand in his back. You're making him think that you're severely trying to resist him, and then all of a sudden you pull the hand. He loses his balance. That's a classic pull the chair defensive post move.
Joe Johnson in double figures here. And Allen Anderson. Make this one. We go to the half. What they call what, a technical on Austin? And we are at the half. The Triplets unbeaten and rolling here against the enemies. 26-9 is our score. The player of the week, Joe Johnson, he's already in double figures, dropping dimes and dropping buckets. 26-9.
Excellent, 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 excellent. I'm heavy, Moon. You can still dunk. Here we go, defense right here. Don't let up. I don't care what the score is. Ref, you owe me one. You owe me one on this one.
We're in Dallas, the Big D. We're at the half, and the best team in the league, the Triplets, with a 26-9 lead. Let's go mic'd up with their head coach.
Excellent, 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 excellent. I'm heavy, Moon. You can still dunk. Here we go, defense right here. Don't let up. I don't care what the score is. Ref, you owe me one. You owe me one on this one.
Lisa Leslie mic'd up here, and her team up big here in the first half. And first half, Joe Johnson again showing out.
Yeah, Joe Johnson is showing out, but this is just another example of teamwork makes the dream work. Their entire team is functioning at a high level. Everybody's starring in their roles, but obviously Joe Johnson's leading the way.
And you know, the one thing you talked about was how they work together as a team, and we saw that in the first half.
Yeah, and it shows up, especially with passing. Guys just playing unselfish. Here's Joe. He knows he can score the ball, but he wanted to get Moon an easy basket. Here's Pargo with a nice lead pass to Moon. Here's Joe again with the short pass to Al Jefferson. So it's just making your teammates better. Joe knows he's the best player on the court. He's the best player in the Big Three, but how can he get other guys involved? And man, it was just very gratifying, especially as a former player and a coach, to watch this type of basketball and teamwork from the Triplets.
12 points is what Johnson has. He's the game leading scorer. And his team is up 15 as we begin the second half. Triplets, the only team in the league right now that is unbeaten. Al Jefferson, Gennaro Pargo, Joe Johnson for the Triplets, Isaiah Stewart, Jordan Hill, and Isaiah Austin for the enemies. Here's Johnson, open three, and it rolls out.
And he's got lucky on that one. In and out by Joe. You can't go under the screens on any screen with Joe Johnson.
He tips that one out to Jefferson, to Pargo, open from the corner. Yes. Gennaro Pargo in practice yesterday said, I'm not leaving the court until I shoot 5 straight step-back threes from that corner, and he knocked all 5 of them down.
Yeah, and if the enemies continue to play it the way they're playing, maybe they're going to have a 15-minute timeout and bring Agent Zero out of retirement.
Right.
Let him go warm up, give him a uniform.
Jordan Hill nearly missed that follow. And cleans up his own mess. Here's Pargo. That one in and out. Austin to Hill.
Pretty much a similar situation which we saw in our last game. When you have a team like Power without Cuttino Mobley and you don't have enough three-point shooters, then the floor shrinks.
Step back, Pargo.
It's the same thing with the enemies. Who can knock down the three?
And I think Joe gave him a shoulder. Oh, they're going to call it Pargo.
Look at Lisa Leslie. She could have been close to getting the technical because she was almost at the 4-point shot mark, debating that call and complaining about that call. But how about Lisa Leslie when we had her mic'd up? Just encouraging her players, breathing confidence into them, telling Anderson, you owe me one.
That's true. That's true.
How can you disappoint Lisa Leslie?
You're right. That three is good by the enemies. Lead is now 15. Here's Johnson again. He'll go to work.
Look for Al Jefferson.
Step back, that's too strong. Nearly knocked away by Pargo.
Yeah, but see Pargo and Al Jefferson really going after that ball. It was 2 against 1, so the enemies, they're going to have to do a better job of boxing out.
Stu for three, short. Follows his own shot and knocks it down.
Yes, Stewart has a different type of energy than his two teammates, so maybe he'll try to, sometime you need a three, maybe a dunk, something to fuse some energy in his team.
Here's Johnson. Jefferson now.
Right hand jump hook.
With 5 and lays it in.
You know how many of those post moves that Al Jefferson has made in his career?
Oh, this brother was a beast in the post. Al Jefferson, 14 seasons he played in the NBA. Stewart misses that three.
Of all of the teams that Al played for, you think he was at his best? I mean, the prime of his career? Utah, that's what I was thinking, Utah. I mean, he was a problem. When you know a guy is a problem is when a coach loses sleep the night before over something offensively that a player excels at on the court. And with Al, is that post move.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know he's going to pump fake 10 times, and how many players go for the pump fake? You know he wants to shoot a left shoulder jump hook, and he still gets to that left shoulder.
Here's Jones, thought about the three, now he'll take it. It's air ball.
This is the guy, Swaggy P. This is where they need some offense.
Harry Jones, hard take. Nick misses that three. Open in the corner, Joe. Got him. Joe Johnson. Again, first team to 50. You win. And the Triplets 16 points away from another victory. Jones with the left hand. Tapped out by Nick Young. Stewart capitalizes with a three.
And when you're struggling to score like Nick Young, how else can you affect the game? Getting offensive rebounds, nice tip out.
Here's Pargo. Got one on shot clock. Didn't get it off.
Yeah, give Stewart credit. He's leaving it all out on the floor for the enemies. They're not having their best afternoon, but He's playing hard, really good defense. He's trying to score the ball. He's their go-to guy offensively.
Here's Stu again. He'll pull up. Anderson tracks it down.
Do not let Joe Johnson get left.
Oh, what a move, Joe!
Now, when we say don't let him get left, that means we do not want to open the door for him to get right.
Here's Perry Jones.
Boy, Joe Johnson, man. And every move he makes, all of the fans that are here, they're sitting on his every move. At halftime, one of my friends that's here, I checked my phone and he just said, Joe Johnson is a bad man.
Yes, he is. Stu again for three. Elijah Stewart all of a sudden is starting to get warm. This is his fourth three-pointer.
It's funny, the communication. Lisa Leslie wanted to call the timeout. Joe Johnson was like, gave it the eye contact, like, no, don't call the timeout.
Johnson missed it, gets his own board.
We got to get some help down there from Stewart. Got to get some help.
And just powers his way to the bucket. Is our score as the Triplets fighting to remain unbeaten.
Yeah, Joe Johnson, when you're the MVP of the league 3 weeks in a row, you cannot let him get to a strong hand. You need some help. Bring the whole team over to help him. Force somebody else to score. Don't stand around. Joe Johnson, folks.
Today's monster moment of the game, it is fueled by Brothers Food Mart.
Nice move by Moon. You know, Moon was traded to the Triplets last year, and that was one of the reasons why Lisa Leslie wanted him to just give a little bit more of an offensive punch to their team and another defender, especially when they need to get stops late in the game.
Had a season-high 10 boards last week against Trilogy. 38-23 our score. Here's Stewart.
And see, that's an example of what I'm talking about. Lisa Leslie made the change. She wants Moon to guard Stewart as much as possible.
Stu misses that three. Here's Joe Johnson.
Isn't it amazing how far you have to guard Joe Johnson?
Yeah, really. He'll pull that four on you. Drive, banks it home. He's now got 21.
Somebody just said, too easy, Joe.
10 points away from victory are the Triplets. That three no good.
Tell all of the folks in New Orleans that we miss them. Keep your head up.
Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully we'll see you next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Really looking forward to heading to New Orleans. Here's Nick Young. They work it around for Isaiah Stewart. Perry Jones. Give me all four of those.
Nice decision, unselfish pass by Nick Young. But you notice when guys are clearing the ball, you know, players are sprinting as fast as they can to get out the lane, get behind the line, try to get some easy baskets.
40-27, Joe. Kicks it back out to Moon. He'll shoot that three. It's short.
2 here. Should get a wide open 3.
Oh, good follow by Elijah Stewart.
Man, Stewart is just super athletic for his size. Playing above the rim.
He's done some good work here today. And they call the offensive foul on Anderson. Again, Elijah Stewart making plays.
Yeah, it looked like Pargo's going to come in and get Anderson, get a little bit more scoring on the court. Anderson doesn't want to come out. he said, come on, Lisa. But see, that's the love and the respect you have for your coach. You trust your coach, even though you don't want to come out.
Here's Stu again. He's been a one-man wrecking crew for the enemies. Hey, look at this. Lead is now single digits. It's just 9.
But even though the lead is single digits, is 9, there's one problem for the enemies. They do not have Joe Johnson.
Well, he's got the rock now. Oh! Cross, drives, fades. And just shook his head.
What ball control, and you want to tell me Joe Johnson doesn't work on his ball handling every single day as much as when people work on their shooting, he's working on his ball.
How about Pargo?
And really good substitution to get Pargo back in the game.
Triplets 5 points away from another victory. Stewart, foul by Moon. You take a look at our Big 3 Triller viewing guide. These games are coming up live and free on Triller and Fight TV. Tri-State Threes Company. Trilogy versus the Aliens and the Three-Headed Monsters taking on Bivouac.
Got some really good coaches in those games. Dr. J, well, I wonder what kind of shirt Dr. J is going to wear.
Well, you know
today.
Doc gonna be clean, man. He's always clean.
Steven Jackson.
Always.
I heard Steven Jackson has a really good podcast.
Yeah, All the Smoke podcast.
Have you gotten an invitation yet?
Have not yet. No, not yet, brother. Here's Joe for 4.
Looked like that ball slipped out of Joe's hand.
He's trying to end that thing in a hurry. So 45-31, first team to 50 wins. Here's Joe.
Now, sometime when Joe draws attention, it's a good time to back cut. All right, now 3-on-2, you got numbers.
Pargo for 4. Perry Jones, second 4 of the day. Now the lead is 10.
It's one of those situations where Lisa Leslie's saying, hey, Joe, it's about that time.
Yeah. Here's Pargo. Inside to Johnson, back to Pargo. Jumper's good.
Find Perry Jones. Smart defense at the 4-point shot.
Swaggy P for 4.
Couple of more stops, enemies. Couple of more stops.
Here comes point game. You know where it's going.
Yep. The enemies have a foul to give.
So here's Pargo. They go to Johnson. He's had game winners every week. Pargo now. He wants to end it. Misses the 3. Stewart. Oh, nice move. Joe for the win. It's short.
Boy, if Joe Johnson would have pump fake Perry Jones in that situation. Perry Jones would have ran all the way back to Waco. Joe would have had a wide open shot. Perry Jones was running that fast.
Perry Jones has already hit a couple forward. Here's Pargo now. This bucket wins it.
Got to take the best shot, even if it's a 2.
Here's Joe. Spins. Hangs. Follow. Pargo now.
You got a mismatch here, Joe. Inside.
Pargo, step back 3 for the win! Gennaro Pargo!
He had that look in his eyes when he came and shook hands with you before the game. Pargo put on the show to close it. He said, Joe, I need some attention in Dallas, Texas today.
He sure did. Gennaro Pargo calls game, and the Triplets remain unbeaten. Step back 3. Cash money by Gennaro Pargo and the Triplets. The only unbeaten team right now in the league remain unbeaten.
Really good offense, good defense, better offense, and look at the bench reaction. That's when you know you have a team that's really together. Lisa Leslie and Joe Johnson leads the Triplets to another win and stay undefeated in week 4 of the Big 3.
And of course, the man of the hour, he's with John Sally. Go ahead, Spider Sally.
ISO Joe, you put it on again today. What? Do you work out?
You got to. When you get my age, man, you gotta, stay in the gym. Not just basketball, but weights, other things to help you, continue to play this game. Yeah.
All right, so I looked at your IG, and you were just showing off a bare chest with a whole bunch of abs, a whole bunch of bumps on your stomach. Are you okay? Do you got to go to the doctor for all those bumps?
Now you got something under that too.
Yeah, but they're under the fat.
Yeah, I know, you just gotta share that down a little bit. You gonna be good. You'll be good, baby.
All right, so we're sitting here. Everybody is happy to watch you play and put on the show. Today you put on another show, and Pargo stepped in and won the game today.
Thank you. Oh, it was big. I'm glad he was able to make that shot, man. Those are shots that me and him work on routinely. And it's like doing drills, man. We just come out here and have fun with it.
All right, well, you got one of the greatest coaches, Lisa Leslie. What's your thought?
She's a great person, man. Not just, a Hall of Famer, but she's a great person, obviously a great coach. She inspires and motivates me. She stays on me, stays calling, texting me, telling me stuff that she sees. So, I think that's vital, man. That's why we've been so good.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, bro.
Way to go, Joe.
Thank you, John. Thank you.